Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Just about 72 hours away now. Less than 3 days. It's going down in the early hours of Sunday morning. Or you can call it Saturday night if you want to. But the fact is this fight is coming. It's going down in Australia. Perth, Australia to be exact. Islam Makhachev is walking into a tough situation because Volkanovski's fighting at home in front of his fans. And Islam Makhachev said, give me this fight on the road. He's coming up to my division and I'll go into his house and win this thing. But as I've said, what happens if Volkanovski wins? People are going to be shocked. It'll be up there with Leon Edwards beating Kamaru Usman. And the thing is if it did happen, not to say it will, you know how I feel, but if it did happen, it's got to be up there with Leon Edwards finishing Usman, even though it shouldn't be, because this guy is number one pound for pound in the world. And you know, even though Alexander Volkanovski can't lose in this fight per se, because even if he loses, it's like, well, you know, he went up a division, he doesn't really lose his featherweight belt, none of that. But if he wins this fight, he solidifies himself as one of the best MMA professional fighters of all time, because he'll be a 2-belt champ. He'll have beaten a guy that many people thought, at least right now, is unbeatable. The one fight that he lost was a questionable stoppage. So he's virtually undefeated, although he did lose that one fight. But Islam Makhachev seems unbeatable right now. And if Volkanovski walks in there and gets the win, I think people are going to be left shocked, and this man will finally get some respect. And that's why we tune in, right? Because anything could happen. You might think you know what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, anything can happen. Now, Dana White and Islam Makhachev have been going back and forth over the promotion of UFC 284, and Dana White's kind of like responding to Makhachev saying there's like a lack of promoting this fight by the UFC, and Dana White's more or less like he doesn't know what he's talking about. He has no idea what he's talking about. He says, first of all, he lives in Dagestan. What does he know about what's going on for the promotion of the fight? He doesn't know anything. It's going to be one of the top 5 biggest fights of all time. Not Australia, but all time. First of all, the event sold out, right? You couldn't get a ticket if you wanted to get a ticket in Perth. And this thing is trending right now to be the biggest pay-per-view event in Australia, which it's also like 6% behind Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3. It's probably going to break the record. So to say that the fight hasn't been promoted, that's just ridiculous. So Dana White spitting facts, and it's trending early on to be the number 5 roughly pay-per-view event of all time. And we'll look at those numbers here in just a second. But Dana White goes on, and this is on the Jim Rome show. He says number 1 versus number 2. Both world champions. Obviously Volkanovski moving up to try to take Islam's title. It's never happened before, so it's exciting. This is going to be one of the top 5 biggest fights of all time in UFC history. As far as gate, number 1, pay-per-view, the list goes on and on. He's walking right into, Volkanovski's territory and wants to beat him in his own country. I love that, said Dana White. And you got to respect that. I mean, this guy's going right into his opponent's territory. You know, it's very similar to an NFL playoff game when a team is playing on the road, or any other type of sporting event, even basketball, where the home crowd has a major advantage in the say of the game. And sometimes athletes love that opportunity to go in there and just silence a crowd. And that's what will happen if Islam Makhachev wins. Now, of course, he'll have fans there too, but the majority of the house, of the arena, will be rooting for the impossible, is what it seems like, for Volkanovski to pull off the win. And these are the top 10 pay-per-view buys in UFC history. And you can see McGregor is on 8 of the top 10. The two without him is number 9, Usman versus Masvidal, 1.3 million pay-per-view buys, and Lesnar versus Murr, 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. So you go up to number 4, McGregor versus Poirier, 3. Dana White saying it's trending about 6% behind that. That's like 90 to 100,000 roughly. So that would put this event, if it stays on track, as the number 5 biggest pay-per-view of all time. And now it would drop McGregor Aldo out of the top 10. So that's what things are looking like here. And is the card great? No. This really comes down to the main event. As simple as that. The main event, even the co-main event, which we're getting to the prediction today in a moment, isn't even trending that well. Because it comes before Makhachev versus Volkanovski. But if Volkanovski wins this fight, the fight before this, Emmett versus Rodriguez, becomes a big result at the end of the day, because that will basically be the featherweight champion going forward, or at least in the mix for the featherweight title. It's like kind of like a semifinal for the featherweight division. Now, if you don't know, now you know, right? On the do list, we got Islam Makhachev 2, Alexander Volkanovski number 6. Again, this is not a pound for pound situation. These are just simply our favorite fighters. And now that McGregor has a fight coming up, he will be back on the do list. Last time he was there, he was number 3. We'll have to see how this plays out. Seems like Colby Covington is slowly dropping. I like Yuri Prochazka in the top 5, because when he comes back, you got a big fight with him and Jamal Hill to really settle that division. And then you got down at number 10, Israel Adesanya. So Adesanya likely getting bumped to number 11 or 12. You got Shavkat Rakhmonov at number 11. At some point, he'll be in the top 10. He probably just needs another fight or two. But that's kind of the way this thing is looking right now. Khamzat Chimaev still on hold, right? No fight. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. You got some guys that have fought 3 times since Khamzat has fought his last fight. So you got a major problem here with Khamzat Chimaev just sitting on the sidelines. But first things first, you got the big fight this weekend, Makhachev versus Volkanovski. And let me just say this. If I'm the UFC, which obviously I'm not letting a time ever happen where I don't have Khamzat or Islam Makhachev with a fight. So as soon as this fight's over, you have both of them with no scheduled fight next. I'm not letting it happen. Like, I'm scheduling Khamzat's fight this week. So as soon as Makhachev is over, it transitions to Khamzat Chimaev, because those are the 2 biggest trending fighters. And even if you have to split it up, maybe that's what the UFC is doing. This is why we're waiting so long for a Khamzat fight. But if you have to split these 2 up, so that every 4 months you got to fight with one of these guys, and they both get to fight once every 8 months, which it seems like it's kind of on track for that. Although this will be Islam's second fight since Khamzat last fought against Kevin Holland, I believe. Because I think Khamzat fought at 279, and then Oliveira versus Makhachev, I remember, was at 280. So Islam's fighting again, defending the belt before Khamzat even gets another fight. So this is what's making a lot of people very, very upset about the situation. What's up? This is your boy Chris Cross. Thanks for watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button in one of the links below. Then click on one of them clips up above and enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and God bless. Peace.